So two former college quarterbacks who was coached by Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb, the new offensive staff at the University of Alabama, have spoke highly of Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb. I'm talking about Michael Penix, the former Washington quarterback, and Jake Haener, the former quarterback of the Fresno State Bulldogs, who was both coached by Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb. Both of those guys gave the utmost respect to those guys. Michael Penix, Jake Haener, they was interviewed by Tuscaloosa News, and they had nothing but great things to say about both Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb. But before I get into that, Michael Penix made two bold statements or predictions while talking to Tuscaloosa News. The first one is concerning Austin Mack, Alabama's transfer quarterback. He transferred from Washington to Alabama to continue to get coached by Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb. And he said that Austin Mack will become a household name in Alabama. But if that becomes true, what is Ty Simpson and Dylan Lonergan going to do? Will they entertain the transfer portal? Because in 2025, Ty Simpson will be going into his senior year. And Dylan Lonergan is in the same recruiting class with Austin Mack. And both of those guys will be going into their junior year. I expect Jalen Milroe to be the starter in 2024. All right. So 2025, will Austin Mack win the job? That's a question that might concern Ty Simpson, especially. I don't think the transfer portal will be as pressing for Dylan Lonergan as it will be for Ty Simpson, because I'm sure Ty Simpson, sooner or later, he's going to have to get on the field to showcase his talents if he expects to make it to the next level. Okay? So that's just a possibility. All right? If this prediction by Michael Penix comes true and Austin Mack is a household name in Alabama. Now, you know Austin Mack, 6'6", 220 pounds. He's a big guy, a big quarterback. And from everything people say, he's a great athlete and he's an even better quarterback. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see about that, just like this next prediction that Michael Penix made, and that is Kalen Deboer will win a national championship at Alabama in the next 3 years. Hopefully that becomes true. Hopefully. All right. Because Kalen Deboer has a winning pedigree, winning DNA, just like his counterpart, Ryan Grubb. All right. So just want to talk about those two bold predictions that Michael Penix made while talking to Tuscaloosa News. All right. They talked about Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb. They talked about the offense that Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb is bringing to Alabama. All right. But you can't talk about having an explosive offense without talking about the wide receivers. But that's for another video. I'm going to talk about the wide receivers, as a matter of fact, in my next video. All right. So y'all stay tuned and look for that video also. But let's talk about what these guys said about Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb. Kalen Deboer, he done been an offensive coordinator himself. But they go on to say, but Grubb has been the one to call the plays when the two have worked together at their past two stops. And Alabama players should be thrilled about that. All right? That's coming from Jake Haener, the former quarterback of the Fresno State Bulldogs, who was coached by both of these guys, okay? Jake Haener, all right? I think Ryan is one of the best, if not the best play caller in college football. Don't get me wrong. Kalen is an unbelievable coach and has just as good as an offensive mind, but I think Ryan really holds that offense to the standard and holds people accountable. For me, in my years of college football and my first year in the NFL, there's nobody even close to the type of coach he is. That is some great praise for Ryan Grubb. That should make Alabama fans even more excited to have him as our offensive coordinator. Talking about the offense, this is coming from Michael Penix. To put it simple, get ready for a lethal passing attack. The vertical passing game is the hallmark of the offense. Matter of fact, this coming from Michael Penix and Jake Haener. Anyway, let's just say the ability to pass the ball vertically, but not just throwing 4 verticals at all times. It's layered throws. The other 2 godfathers of the offense, according to Jake Haener, are crossing patterns, as well as what he described as the climb series. Jake Haener said, when I say the climb series, you're going to see, if you're on the left hash, those 18 to 22 yard over route by the number 2 receiver. And you can pair that with whatever you want on the front side. You're going to see a lot of pure progression pass in their system. Okay, we got the climb route. We got pure progression passing in this system. They bringing all this to Tuscaloosa. All right, talking about the pure progression passing system. All right, Penix also saw plenty of that incorporated during his 2 seasons with Deboer and Grubb at Washington. All right. Also, with those 2 guys in Indiana, also in 2019, or with Deboer in 2019 at Indiana. Anyway, Penix say it's pretty easy, pretty simple. But he did say for him, he says that the experience played a big part of that also, okay? He says they also can mix it up as well as do it based on the coverage and stuff. All right, whatever coverage that the defense is in, you can mix up this pure progression passing system. Most of the time, you got the left to right, right to left reads to help the quarterback just scan through and get a good feel of the game. All right, it's going through reads, so starting with the first receiver to see if he's open, then you move to the second and third receiver, and so on. Okay, no matter what the defense is running in the pure progression passing system, if you're a young quarterback and you get confused at the line of scrimmage and you might not know what the defense is in, you can go in a pure progression passing system, okay, to make it easier on the quarterback. All right. They also talked about exploiting matchups. Jake Haener explained this from his days at Fresno State. All right. He said at Fresno State they used plenty of shifts and motion, and he expect Coach Deboer and Ryan Grubb to do the same thing in the SEC. He says those shifts and motions pre-snap can help spread out the defense and isolate matchups. All right. So, and he said Ryan Grubb and Kalen Deboer are going to do a really good job with whatever athletes they get. They did good jobs with athletes at Sioux Falls. They did good with athletes at Indiana and Fresno State and Washington. Everywhere they've been, no matter what type of athletes they had, they were successful. And with the athletes at Alabama, for the roster littered with 4 and 5 stars, I'm sure they will be successful there also. Okay? I mean, these guys also talked about how they are successful with different types of quarterbacks. These guys cater to the ability of the quarterback. They went on to say, if you got a running quarterback, they going to cater to his best abilities. If you got a dual threat quarterback, they going to cater to that. If you got a pocket passer type quarterback or a pro style quarterback, they going to cater to that. And with no matter what type of quarterback that they go with, they are successful. Just like no matter what type of athletes they get, they are successful. So I know a lot of other fan bases, even some Alabama fans, are doubting these guys. But with everybody, I mean everybody that you hear talk about these two guys, all these athletes or players that have played under these guys, has nothing but great things to say about Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grove. And you don't find that everywhere with every head coach or offense or defensive coordinator or even receiver coach or running back coach. But everybody who has something to say or has spoke about these two guys ain't got nothing but great things to say. And they went on to talk about the quarterback position and the launch point, how they move the quarterback out of the pocket. They don't just have a quarterback to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. They have them delivered from different spots on the field. All right? Changing up from where the quarterback throws the ball. They don't keep the quarterback in the pocket and only have them throw from one spot. The quarterback will release the ball from different areas. Okay? So, especially when you got these defenders bearing down on you as a quarterback. Okay? And I like the fact that these guys move in the pocket. Something I feel like Tommy Rees had an issue with, even though he had a mobile quarterback in Jalen Milroe. All right? And talking about the offensive line, you know, Ryan Grubb used to be an offensive line coach at Fresno State, Eastern Michigan, and Sioux Falls. All right? So we in our offensive coordinator, we got an offensive line coach too. And y'all know Alabama's offensive line for the past 3 seasons has been bottom of the barrel to mediocre. I'll say that. Maybe middle of the road last season. All right. But for 21 and 22, they was terrible. They started out the season terrible in 23, but improved. Okay. But anyway, Michael Penix says that Ryan Grubb, he's on the offensive line hard. He pushes those guys to be great. Michael Penix say he is the reason why they won the daggone Joe Moore Award last season for the best offensive line in the country. Thanks to Kalen, not Kalen Deboer, but Ryan Grubb. Okay? So, anyway, says he makes sure those guys are fully prepared and make sure those guys don't get lazy. I think last season, seasons previous, we did have some guys on that offensive line to get lazy. But guess what? I think with Tyler Booker, he's going to be one of the best offensive guards in the country. And then we got the center, Parker Brailsford, off that daggone off that offensive line of Washington from last season. He transferred into Alabama. One of the best centers in college football, even though they classify him as undersized. This guy, 275, going up against guys over 300 pounds, up to 340 pounds. Okay, so he can hold his own. And people might say, well, that one in the SEC. And I will continue to say it just like I said it before. That Washington Husky football team from 2023 under Coach Kalen Deboer and Ryan Grubb would have beat damn near every SEC team last season. Just put it that way. All right? The SEC, when it comes to having great teams, is just like every other conference. The SEC will have 2 or 3 good to great teams every year. The rest of them, middle of the road to bottom of the barrel. Just like every other damn conference. So yes, that damn Washington football team from 2023 would have beat damn near every SEC team they would have faced last season. So hey, you can talk shit about Washington being in the Pac-12. Shit, I talk shit about the Pac-12 too. But guess what? These guys are proven winners no matter where they go. So hey, it is what it is. I just want to put out there that Michael Penix and Jake Haener is speaking highly of these guys. Highly. Okay, so we'll see how the cookie crumble in 2023. But I expect nothing but success. And before I forget, A-Day is Saturday, April the 13th. Saturday, April the 13th. We will get to see a glimpse of the offense that these guys is bringing to Tuscaloosa, okay? We will also get to see a glimpse of the defense. We talking about this offense that they bringing. What about the defense? I want to see what this defense look like. I want a dominant defense. Our defense, newly hired defensive coordinator from South Alabama, has a track record for winning also as a defensive coordinator. He was a head coach for a little bit. He wasn't as successful as a head coach. All right, but the way you get a head coaching job is being the best at what you do as a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, things of that nature. That's how you get these head coaching jobs. There's been a lot of head coaches that wasn't successful, that was great defensive and offensive coordinators. So we'll see what this defense look like. That's what I'm waiting on. I already feel like this offense is going to be explosive by what everybody that done played under these guys are saying. And you've seen how explosive that Washington defense was last season. As a matter of fact, Michael Penix was #1 in passing yards last season. Okay? I know Jalen Milroe is not Michael Penix. But guess what? I think Jalen Milroe is a better overall athlete than Michael Penix because of the running ability. All right? So, but Jalen Milroe, he got to get better at his short to intermediate passes. Not saying that he can't make those passes, which we seen that he could. Just got to get better. That's all. The deep ball is there. And with under these two guys, Jalen Milroe just might do some shit we ain't never seen before. We ain't never seen what Jaden Daniels did last season. And Jalen Milroe just might be better than that. It remains to be seen. So, but yeah, A-Day, April 13th. They didn't come out with a time, but yeah, April 13th. So let's come in and pack out Bryant Dennis Stadium, Lord willing. I'll be there in the flesh. You can believe that. So y'all come out, support Kalen, Deboer, Ryan Grubb, the rest of the Alabama staff and the Alabama football team. Roll Tide.